Greetings, everyone. It's Wisdom Wednesday, and our time to embrace wisdom and reflect on the profound aspects of life. Today, we turn our attention to the power of words, the unseen forces that shape realities and touch lives. In the Encyclopedia of Global Tales, few stories are as layered and as deeply engraved into our collective consciousness as the conflict between Palestine and Israel. It is a tale that has been transcribed by countless pens, voiced in multitude tongues, and it reminds us that words can be both bridges and walls. Words have the power to heal or to hurt, to enlighten or to obscure. Today, I wish to explore this theme, not to take sides, but to underscore the influence of our words, from the historical accounts that divide us to the personal stories that unite us. I will be presenting two pieces that were both written for events hosted by the Tobago Writers Guild, and although not about the conflict directly, they resonate with the theme of words as tools of creation and agents of change. The first is a reflection titled, "And Yet We Write Triumphantly." A piece that analyzes the act of writing. It tells us that our words, spoken or unspoken, have power. The power to triumph over the trials we face. The second piece is entitled "The Power of Words, the Holy Trinity of Creation." It looks at the magical trinity of thoughts, words, and deeds, and the immense power we hold through them. In the context of conflict, such as that between Palestine and Israel, these words remind us that each narrative we contribute to is an act of creation that can either perpetuate a cycle of hurt or foster a path to healing. Both pieces serve as a call to consciousness, an invitation for us to write with our actions and our voices, bringing into being a world that is triumphant over adversity. A world where wisdom can lead the way to understanding and peace. As we dive into these pieces, let us carry with us the awareness of our responsibility as creators. With every word we choose, with every narrative we uphold, we are writing the next chapter of human history. Let us strive to make it one of compassion, wisdom, and triumph. The first piece, titled "And Yet We Write Triumphantly." This is a contemplation on the act of writing beyond the pen. It is about how our everyday actions and words, even those unspoken, write the narrative of our lives. It is a reflection on resilient human spirit that persists through all of life's challenges. And yet we write triumphantly. We write to communicate and share. Traditionally, when we hear write, we think pen and paper. Let us not be conventional, but let us think outside the box. We do not need pen and paper to write. We write every day. Even when we are not literally writing, we write. If writing's main purpose is to communicate, then our every utterance is a form of writing. We are writing vibrationally. And trust me, its communication, while subtle, has far-reaching consequences. We all face challenges and heartache. There is always a reason we can use to justify doing unto others that which we would abhor being done to us. When we identify with the things we do not want, when we ponder on the whys of injustice and let the emotions of anger and the hateful thoughts of revenge consume us with righteous indignation, we write. When we mull over mistakes or deliberate wrong action, in grief and guilt, we write. When we refuse to acknowledge that we are cultured by our environment and brainwashed by a powerful force whose intent is to destroy our families and hopes, we write. When we cast judgment and blame without considering circumstance and ability, not acknowledging that there are those among us who, through no direct fault of their own, follow blindly and react as programmed, we write. Our thoughts lead to words and actions, and ultimately, this is how we write our story. Even when we are not right, we write. When we own unverified beliefs, we write. When we ignore or uphold spiritual guidance, we write. What are we writing into the lives of our children and loved ones? The past is past, and every day we have an opportunity to refute the lies of the past and present actions. Whether we be perpetrator or victim, forgive and resolve to be mindful so as to do better. We hope for better things, so we think and do better. That is how we write triumphantly. To write triumphantly, we must engage triumphant thoughts and follow through with actions that reflect those thoughts. It is not about living in denial of the evil we see and sometimes experience, but about delving deep into our God-given gifts, to rise above and go beyond the hurts and pain of life in this realm. We have the capacity to visualize and recall the strength and endurance of our ancestors, to think, to say, and to do better, declaring that in spite of, we write triumphantly. The world we live in is our paper and our deeds, our pen. We write triumphantly when we live triumphantly. In our second piece, The Power of Words, the Holy Trinity of Creation, we delve into the mystical interaction of thoughts, words, and deeds. This piece unveils the magical process of creation that we engage in daily, a process that shapes our reality and the world at large. It is an invitation to recognize and wield this power with consciousness and purpose. The power of words, the Holy Trinity of creation. We often speak of witchcraft and obeah. But let us consider this. Many of the conveniences and tools we take for granted today would have been viewed as nothing short of sorcery by our ancestors. Just a few decades ago, the idea of the World Wide Web, with its instant communication and vast warehouses of knowledge, would have been confined to the realms of fantasy, science fiction, or even fairy tales. In much the same way, we hold and wield immense power, often without realizing its full scope. But whether you are a good cook or a bad cook, you are still a cook. Let us delve into the magic we all possess, the magic that lies in the power of words. The Holy Trinity of creation are thoughts, words, and deeds, and they can be seen as different stages of the same magical process. A thought is the spiritual genesis of an idea. Words are how we manifest that idea into this realm. Deeds are the fruit of that manifestation. This is our Holy Trinity. The source of power is one. We are often told that God is everything. What varies is our individual alignment on the spectrum of polarity, depending on our beliefs and inclinations. The part we often overlook is that human beings inherently possess qualities that do not necessarily align with harmony. The dual nature of our qualities ensures that greed, anger, lust, envy are all ingrained in us, just as virtues like honesty and courage are. These virtues, though, are not just bestowed upon us. We cannot just wish for or pretend them into existence. Virtues are cultivated through learning and practice. But let's face it, we have been duped and led astray by leaders and a media that glamorizes vice over virtue. The dilemma of our times is that we find ourselves in a conundrum, misled by mixed messages from society that make us question our ethical stances. We have come to accept this discord as normal, but it is anything but normal. We are in a downward spiral, and reversing it might take generations. The role of words is key in shifting paradigms, and this is where their power comes into play. Words are spells, and they shape our reality. When we parrot views imposed upon us rather than articulating our own truth, we perpetuate the very system we aim to dismantle. You may think that because you are not in a position of traditional power, perhaps you are not a politician, not a CEO, nor a religious leader, that your words lack impact. Let me assure you, this could not be further from the truth. When we use words to uplift and educate, we become part of a growing army of enlightened soldiers, warriors. A society that is more aware with blinders off can resist manipulation and guide the collective narrative. Through the simple act of choosing our words wisely, we gain power and the ability to check the manipulative powers that be. But to wield this power responsibly, it is imperative that we verify the beliefs and ideas to which we lend our voices. Uncritically accepting and spreading information only adds to the noise that drowns out truth. Let us remember that our thoughts, words, and deeds are the Trinity through which we create. My prayer for us all is that we use this sacred power of the Word to bring forth a world that resonates with the highest virtues of humanity. Ashe, Amen. May it be so. As we reflect on the narratives shared today, let us consider the dual nature of words as both a healing balm and a blade. The conflicts that rage around the world, like those in Palestine and Israel, are often fueled by the harshness of words. Yet, it is the same words that hold the potential to soothe wounds and pave avenues for dialogue and peace. Our words are the architects of our reality. They hold a mirror to the human spirit's unrelenting resolve, reflecting our collective capacity to rise from the ashes of conflict to the heights of ceasefire. Every society, every individual wields this tool, shaping not only their destiny, but also the foundation of our shared humanity. In the grand weave of human existence, let us choose threads that strengthen, not threads that tear apart. Let us weave stories of compassion and empathy, resisting words that divide and diminish. This is our inheritance and our legacy. The power to create, to destroy, and ultimately to heal. As we part ways today, I invite you to become an artisan of words in your own circle of influence. Speak with intention, listen with an open heart, and write, whether on paper, in deeds, or in the silent language of kindness. Write chapters of understanding and peace in the book of your life. May we all be mindful of the echoes our words leave behind and strive to ensure that they resonate with harmony and hope. Thank you for walking this path with me today. Until we meet again, let the words we share be the bridges we build, not just for ourselves, but for the generations that follow. As we reflect on the all-powerful dance between words and their impact, may we all aspire to a future where swords are not lifted in anger, but rather serve as steadfast flagpoles from which olive branches may unfurl. Let our words be the architects of such a world, sculpting realities where peace is not a mere interlude between conflicts, but the enduring melody of our collective song. Let us each contribute a verse to this symphony of understanding and compassion, so we may truly live to witness the day when the sword is forever sheathed, its steel outshone by the resilient green of the olive branch.